Welcome, everyone. Please mute your microphone. Please, all attendees and panelists, please now. Thank you for joining us for today's webinar about sustainable innovation, organized by COMBIRO and BOLD. My name is Jesus Querol. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Blue Ocean Drivers BOLD. BOLD is a company created in 2020, whose founders, Javier, Belen, and me, have more than 25 years of experience in blue and green projects. Now we are focusing on creating market-oriented consortium with big companies, innovative SMEs, disruptive startups, and investors to build and back sustainable, large-scale business models in emerging technologies like biofuels, ammonia, hydrogen, artificial intelligence, and so on. For this, we match founders, investors, customers by offering technical and business development service. Please, Jung-Hoo, could you introduce yourself and your company?
Okay, thank you. Hello, I'm Yoon-Ju from COMBIRO. COMBIRO is a commercialization agency for global technology that helps companies grow and strives to realize the value of co-prosperity in which our clients and us grow. We offer technology commercialization consulting, technology transfer, technology evaluation, and R&D consulting.
Okay. Despite how great it may sound, sustainable innovation does not come easy. Achieving it takes time, commitment, and effort. The webinar's goal is to find out how the companies can innovate sustainably. So today we will meet 4 innovative startups, which will present the products in areas like energy recovery, green energy generation, and waste treatment.
Afterwards, there will be a roundtable with the Blue Economy Secretariat, PwC Luxemburg, the Korea Environmental Industry and Technology Institute, the Spanish Center for the Development of Industrial Technology, and the Korean Institute of Energy Research, in which the participants will talk about the funding of green technology.
Now, with further ado, we will turn the time over to the first speaker, Paul Holtus, founding president and CEO of the World Ocean Council. WOC is developing the leading global hub for the blue economy, where industry, investors, and innovators will meet and work to create leadership, collaboration, and action to support a healthy ocean and corporate ocean responsibility. Last, for your information, this month, World WOC will host 2 high-impact oceans events in Barcelona. The Sustainable Ocean Summit, taking place next 17 to 18 of October, followed by the launch of the Global Blue Finance Summit on 19 of October. Paul, thank you for your participation in this webinar, and please take the floor.
Thanks very much, Jesus, and very honored to be here and speaking with all of you, and to have the opportunity to talk about the blue economy and innovation and investment. It's certainly a big and exciting area, and let me bring up a few slides here. And I hope everyone can see that now. Is good?
Good.
Great. Thank you. So we, at the World Ocean Council, we are the global business, blue economy business and investment organization. And I just wanted to set the stage here a bit to help create a context for talking about investment, innovation, and sustainability for the ocean industries. It's so great to see so many colleagues from Korea. I have spent a lot of time in Korea for various reasons over the years, and my family has a long history of involvement in things in Korea. So happy to meet all of you virtually here, and I hope to have the opportunity to follow up. Just a very big picture, very quickly. I think it's always worth reiterating, and I'm here actually at a major shipping event in Malta this week, and several people have said, "Oh, it's so important what the World Ocean Council helping us in different sectors realize how big the overall economy is," and they saying that these numbers they had not realized the size of the overall economy. Each sector is kind of thinking about their sector, shipping and fishing or renewables, etc. But these are some of the information that gives us all an idea of the size of the economy in the ocean and how it's growing and the importance in terms of jobs and economic development. However, this big complex blue economy creates challenges for companies that want to be responsible and sustainable, because many of the critical environment and sustainability issues are multi-industry in nature. They're cross-cutting, and so really to ensure that companies are playing their part in sustainability requires not only individual companies work on this, but entire industries, and even more importantly is that across the sectors we have companies working on sustainable development. And that's the role of the World Ocean Council, because there was a need for a structure and a process to bring together industry leadership and collaboration across the sectors. And so just a quick introduction to the World Ocean Council more specifically. So we work to bring together leadership companies from all of these sectors, shipping, fishing, oil and gas, aquaculture, offshore renewable energy, ports, etc., including the investment and innovation communities. And we have the largest, by far the largest global network on ocean sustainable development from the business and investment and innovation realm, and do focus a lot on the role of investment and innovation, which I'll talk about mainly here in a few minutes. And really, though, creating this shared efforts around a common goal of the role of the private sector in supporting a healthy and productive ocean and its sustainable use. And these have various significant business values in terms of the access and social license and synergies and economies of scale that help create a more stable and predictable ocean operating environment. So to focus in on the investment and innovation and industry connections. So what we really work to do in this space is to bring those three communities together. And we have been more and more over the last decade then connecting up with the investment community, and we have many quite a few of the participants in our global network are from the investment community in what we've been calling the Ocean Investment Platform, and specifically we've been having an Ocean Investor Roundtable virtually for many years now. But one of the key points that I want to make here is that being sure to connect investors and industry and innovators with the actual issues for sustainable development. So this is the real key basis for the need to bring in innovation and investment. What are the problems, the challenges that industries such as shipping or it's been mentioned, the need for alternative fuels and the infrastructure for those fuels, for example, or to deal with environmental issues such as plastics or biofouling and the spread of invasive species. There are many issues that the industry needs solutions for, and those really create the market for the innovators. And this is what we really need to focus on, both those issues that are the challenges for which solutions are needed, and that market, the big companies, the ocean industry operators from the different sectors that are needing those solutions. There are also external drivers that are forcing, moving these issues along, such as regulation, policy, the pressure from the public, etc. And then, of course, the other piece to link in here, and this is a key focus for today's event, is then the role of innovation to bring together those ideas and those entrepreneurs that are helping develop the solutions. So as I say, we have a way in which we bring investors together. We're working on developing with the investment community the framework, the common system of categories and criteria and metrics and indicators for measuring impact by companies, by startups, so that investors know how to measure consistently and in a very comprehensive way whether the companies and the innovations that are coming forward are actually helping solve those problems. And then the other point to mention about innovation is there are a lot of great initiatives now, startup challenges and competitions that are bringing together the innovation, that are focusing on innovation. And what we're doing is trying to connect the different incubators, accelerators, and challenge competitions to create a more coordinated approach to, again, bringing the issues to the innovation initiatives and maybe looking at synergies so that we have different accelerators maybe focusing on the same issue in different parts of the world, so we have some economies of scale in dealing with these large, complex global ocean issues for which innovation is needed. So just quickly to finish up here, to give you a sense of some of the key issues. I've mentioned a few of them, but things related to environmental impacts from human activities, so biofouling, the issue of marine sound or ocean noise, the very complex and widespread issue, the need to address plastics and marine debris through the development of port reception facilities. On the conservation side, the role of marine protected areas and addressing impacts on key species like marine mammals and key ecosystems such as coral reefs. Of course, in the food area, the innovation needed to ensure we have sustainable fisheries and sustainable aquaculture are some of the key examples. And I know certainly in Asia, aquaculture and fisheries are critical parts of the blue economy. Also to deal with climate change issues in the ocean. So risk, the impacts to ports and coastal infrastructure from extreme weather events like we've just seen happen in Florida, and the ongoing sea level rise issues that will affect key ports like Busan and elsewhere in Korea and Asia, and around the world, of course. And also to, in terms of climate change, the very strong opportunity, and Korea has become a real leader in offshore wind development in Asia. And so to really accelerate and move forward low carbon energy from offshore wind, from wave energy, tidal energy, etc. Some great needs for innovation and business development there. And also lastly, I'll mention the opportunity for companies in Korea and elsewhere to get involved in helping us better understand the ocean through what we call smart ocean, smart industries. And this is really directly related to Sustainable Development Goal 14A, which is about improving ocean knowledge. And so this refers to what we call smart ocean, smart industries, having more ships or offshore platforms have instrumentation to collect data on the ocean. And there's a great technology opportunity here for companies in Korea and elsewhere to develop the kinds of technology that can be put on ships and deployed around the world. So there's a huge market for this technology development and deployment. And I'll just, as mentioned by Jesus, and I'll finish here, we have our Global Blue Finance Summit coming up in a few weeks in Barcelona, and that's preceded by, this is a new event series, and that's preceded by our Sustainable Ocean Summit, which has been going on since 2010 as the only global gathering of the business community around ocean sustainable development and the blue economy. And to keep in mind that this is because we need the global business community, because we have one big ocean, but everywhere in the world it's being impacted. And so industry has a key role to play, and investment and innovators have a key role to play in addressing those impacts on a global coordinated scale. And that's what we focus on at the World Ocean Council. Happy to have great partners like BOLD to work with, and really happy to see all of our colleagues here from Korea involved and from elsewhere in the world on this call today. And I'll finish there and really look forward to the ongoing discussion today and further interaction with all of you. Thanks very much.
Thank you very much, Paul, for your interesting presentation. Now we are going to meet the 4 startups from Korea and Spain. Please, can you, Belen, the presentation, the introduction of the first startup? No, Junju, it's your turn. It's your turn, please.
Oh, sorry. Okay. Let me introduce Korean startups for today. So we have Mr. Dong-gu Lee from Kingmaker. The company is an energy company that recycles energy through latent heat recovery. Then, Belen, would you introduce your Spanish startups? Intern?
Let's let Kingmaker speak, and then we'll introduce the next Spanish startup. No problem.
I see.
So may I start? May I start right now?
Yes.
Yes, please.
Yes. My name is Don Lee, Idong-gu from Kingmaker. I'm founder and CEO of Kingmaker company, and we build the system called LHBS, which stands for Latent Heat Back Streaming System. And the 2 main purpose of the system is the first, we remove white smoke from the chimney, and second, we recover latent heat that was previously expelled to the atmosphere. So I wanna let you know about the white smoke, which most of you have seen. White smoke is formed because of water molecules that is contained in the exhaust gas. Exhaust gas is formed because they combust fuel like methane, and when they combust the fuel, exhaust gas is formed, and water molecule contained in exhaust gas is in gaseous state inside of chimney because it's hot. And when it goes out of the chimney, they meet the cold air, and they quickly liquefies to be seen by human eyes. And this white smoke is problematic because the nearby residents are complaining about it, and because they don't want to see it. And when water molecules liquefies, they release lots of heat energy in form of latent heat, liquefaction latent heat, and it amounts about 10% of total energy combustions. And previous white smoke removal system consumes energy while removing white smoke. It's problematic because the factory doesn't want to, charge for machine itself and running cost and carbon related taxes. So they don't want to apply it. But the main difference we have than the previous existing system is that we collect energy while removing white smoke. And how we do it is we apply our system right before the chimney. Inside of the system exists the absorption tower, at the top of which water molecule absorbing solution is falling down, and when they meet exhaust gas inside, they absorb most of moistures and latent heat, and when they fall down at the bottom of the absorption tower, the temperature goes up and the concentration get diluted because they absorb some moisture. And using this heat, we make low temperature water to make a hot temperature water. And to circulate the solution, we have to separate the water molecule that has been absorbed. So this is how our system works. And this is the diagram for our system. So wet flue gas flows inside our system to make and separate it into dry flue gas and the water. And while doing it, we make low temperature water to hot temperature water, which about 95 degrees Celsius. And this is main advantage of our system. The first, visual improvement by reducing white smoke, and we save. If we use hot water properly, we can save a lot of energy, and because of it, we can reduce carbon emissions. And also, we can use water resource that was formed by a combustion reaction. I mean this. So this is main effect we have. When we convert into economical number, we can save energy costs about $7.5 thousand per month if we apply our system to 30 ton per hour boiler standard. So if we set our equipment price to as $1.5 million, we can our customer can return their investment by 2 years. We just finished internal tests of our internal tests. The main problem that the plant-related startup has is that plant industry people are really conservative. So it is really hard to find the demonstration site, but we did it. Well, we luckily enough, we have 2 demonstration sites right now. So the first one is the Wave Park, which is the single largest surfing area, artificial surfing area in Asia. And the second one is the factory, paper making factory. So we are gonna make 2 pilot demonstration system at the end of 2023. And we are gonna do further research to use hot water usefully, make hot water useful. Normally hot water could be used as a heating resource, but in the summer, we can tie our system to absorption chiller, which use hot water energy to produce cold water. And sometimes we can use hot water to produce electricity using ORC system. Or we can store our thermal energy to thermal battery. So eventually we wanna build local heat network like this picture. And it's about the market size. We presume the domestic market size to be $6.8 billion because statistics says the boiler there's 120,000 tons per hour of boilers are there in the market, and we set our price. We set our LHBS price to be $29,000 per 1 ton. So if we calculate the waste heat recovery device market, it could be calculated. And we set our entry market, which is serviceable or obtainable market, as a paper manufacturing industry. And because we have track record there, and second, they use a lot of hot water in the process of making paper. And there is no statistics about global market, boiler market, but we presume we can calculate using Korean and worldwide GDP ratio, and we calculated as $304 trillion US market itself. And we are looking for a fund to make a mass producing system building. And by the end of 2025, we are gonna make our goal is to make $28 million US turnover, and we need funds when we purchase the land and build the factories and buying some manufacturing machines. And most of the funds are going to be used as a cost of sales, which namely material cost and labor cost. And the detailed usage of fund is presented here. And my name is Idong-gu. Yes, I was on several TV shows, and this is our organizations, and this is our advisors list. We registered a lot of patents around our system, and we are working closely with Korean government, and we got some certifications and awards. And thank you for listening. My presentation is over now. And sorry for stammering a little bit because I haven't used English for a long time. So, and thank you for COMBIRO. Thank you to COMBIRO for giving me this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Now we are going to talk with Fabian Plaza from ATD, and it's a Spanish company that produces electroceramic materials for efficient cathodes for green hydrogen generation fuel cells. So Fabian, all yours.
Okay, thank you very much. Good morning in Spain. I don't know if I have to share the screen or you or.
No, you can do it.
Okay. Are you seeing the presentation?
Yes, we can see it.
Okay. Okay. First, I will introduce our company and the main line of new lines of research and new product focus on electrolyzer and fuel cells. And finally, an ammonia consideration that is very important in the marine market and sector, because probably it's the only way to reduce the CO2 emission as fuel, substitution of natural gas or fuel oil or the actual fuels used in marine sector. Okay, our company is focused, initially focused on thermal and refractory materials, but 7 years from I think from 1915 year, we start new materials focus on space applications of electron emission. Is an active ceramics that emit electrons and use in electric propulsion. Is probably you don't see any relationship with new renewable energy or application in electrolyzer or fuel cell, but the relation is there is a direct relationship between this new material and the use of electrolyzers and fuel cells. One of these material was discovered in Tokyo Institute of Technology at the beginning of the 15 years ago. That is called is a name C12 phase 7. Is a new ceramic that is possible to transform into an active materials that works like a cathode and with a very low work function value, and then is possible to use not only in the space industry, in the electric propulsion, but it's a very good catalyst in the for cathode in electrolyzer and fuel cells and ammonia synthesis. That is recently demonstrated in Japan with the first plan to synthesize ammonia in low quantities, not high quantities or high production that is the Haber-Bosch traditional plants. We start thanks to CDTI projects from 2015 to 2017, and right now we have 2 European projects in order to applying this technology in a space industry. We have some patent granted. Is this is the number that is in the today is extending to the European and the rest of the world, an additional patent pending about not only the material but the applications. Okay, what the strategy that we follow talking about electrolyzers? The first, is probably the most important, is to substitution noble metal that is strategic and scale metals like platinum, palladium, or iridium, and the substitution by synthetic materials based on abundant and cheap compounds. That is in the case of C12 phase 7, calcium carbonate and alumina, but the value is translate, or the value add is translate to processes and technology, but not dependence of strategic materials. The second one is to solve the water problem in some scenarios. It probably is a special application of this kind of technologies, but it's a problem to deploy the electrolyzer to get hydrogen in some cases that is not there is no water, or is the water is a problem. And finally, the long-term target in this case is the high temperature electrolyzer that is called SOEC. Is the like a race for decreasing temperature and the increase of the efficiency. Okay. This is very recent experiment and lab results using an electrolyzer that is standard in US in universities, or certification for electrolyzers. And then we substitute the cathode, the standard cathode, that is loading with platinum, in this case, with our material. Our material is from a ceramic, pure ceramic material transformed into a electrolyte. Electrolyte is a new compound that has a very high emission of electrons, not only in vacuum by plasma, but even making junction like a diode. That is the case that you use, we use in the electrolyzer. And this is the final GDL. GDL is the basic cathode in this case, and between the ion membrane interchange and the final cathode electrode. And we made the substitution of the platinum of this material, and this was the result. As you can see in black is the platinum original cathode, and two samples with different loading of the catalyst, the new synthetic catalyst. This is one, another one. That means is the proof of concept with a simple design, because the final design is it's more complicated because we have to design dynamic fluids and the connection of the membrane integration in the system, but it's more complicated. But the more simple demonstration at this level in laboratory that is possible to make the substitution of platinum or palladium, iridium with a synthesized material that is cheaper. It's not dependence of strategic material, and only depend on the process technology and knowledge about the material, about the process itself. Okay, we plan to introduce a new line with some industrial joints or joint venture or alliance in Spain, so far in Spain, but we are open to other scenarios in order to implement the first electrolyzer using this substitution first, and a modular concept based on to replicate the same unit and connect series parallel like a battery architecture that represent better MBTF and production cost, because we produce the same GDL electrodes or membranes for every system. And we are now just running the endurance tests in order to make the characterization of the degradation of possible problems in the future and lifetime of this kind of devices. The same is completely translate or it's possible to apply in the case of fuel cells. In this case, is to the anode of the fuel cell that is equivalent to the cathode in the electrolyzer device. And finally, the soft C, the solid oxide fuel cell or high temperature, that is the long-term hope of everybody in order to increase the efficiency and make the system more reliable. Is in this case we need to lower the temperature from 900 to the order of 600 degrees. Okay, the second one is the water problem. Water problem in some scenarios is more serious than probably people know. And because it's not possible to get free water, considering that you need 1 liter per kilowatts in installation of solar or wind plant in order to get hydrogen. 1 liter per kilowatt hour means 1 megawatt is 1,000 liters per hour. It's not evident because it's the poor water, and it's not easy to not only to water treatments, but the water in the renewable installation. In this case, solar installation, for instance, is not in the center of Spain. For instance, there is sun, but there is no water. There is a high problem. There are 2 ways to get water from air. That is the new tanks in special in desert zones or dry zones, but it requires a high ratio of energy. That's 300 watts per liter, represent 30% of the efficiency of the global system to get hydrogen. Is too much. Probably in some scenarios, it's the only way to guarantee the existence of water. And the desalination plants, that is very, I don't understand why people think it's a higher energy consumption of this kind of plants. It's not the truth. The truth is only 3 watts per liter. It's not relevant for instance, for a hydrogen plant. The problem that you need to see and what happened with the residual salt generated by the desalination plants. And there is a new architecture or tendency in order to apply the water from air, but directly into the electrolyzer. It's a new concept that it doesn't need any kind of energy, apply energy, and the problem is to penalty of the global efficiency of the system that right now is around 20 to 30%, and we plan to get less than 15%. 15% probably is the limit, because if you plan electrolyzer plant in a solar generation plant with 15% of efficiency, but forget the water problem, probably everybody in some scenarios sign or agree with the solution. That require material research and system architecture and very deep and knowledge of the materials in the membranes, in cathode and anode. Finally, the high temperature electrolyzer probably is the long-term electrolyzer, and we are focused resources in order to don't lose this train, because it's based on ceramic material, basically, not only the membranes by the electrodes, and avoiding platinum and palladium also. Okay, this is our tentative roadmap about electrolyzer. First, to get the first electrolyzer platinum-less or cathode based on common materials with special industrial processes. We expect to get in the second half of the next year the first units, initial production units, or beta units, or initial units, in order to make a long-term endurance test that can be guarantee this kind of device for long lifetime. The second one is the waterless. Waterless probably we take.
Fabian, please hurry up a bit because
okay.
we are short of time and.
We take off this year and the next year in the basic research, and if lucky, at the end of the year, probably we get the first beta units of the waterless electrolyzers. And finally, the high temperature electrolyzer probably made in laboratory this year or next year too. Finally, the ammonia question. Ammonia question is probably is the better, not probably, is for sure, is the better hydrogen storage and transportation, because with only 10 bar, you can get 5.88 kilowatts hour per kilogram, or 4 kilowatt hour per liter, with a very little pressure. It's only 10 bar. It's more density, energy density, that use hydrogen at 700 bar, for instance. It's less than the half volume. That means in the case of marine fuel, it's not necessary to transfer the space dedicated to gas natural or fuel oil in the substitution of the CO2 fuels, but CO2-free fuels like ammonia. And it's possible to fueling directly in an internal combustion engine that is transforming actually right now by the motor manufacturer, or extraction H2 in order to use a PEM fuel cell or soft C fuel cell to get electricity directly from ammonia. It's only advantage, but the problem is the green ammonia availability at this time. Only depends on the Haber-Bosch process. The Haber-Bosch process requires minimum plants, that is solar plants, that means a minimum, for instance, of 600 megawatts hour renewable plants. That is a large plants. It's not, there is an investment barrier for this kind of plant. New generation of ammonia synthesis based on catalyst allows to start in 0.1 to 5 metric tons a day of production. That means only 1 megawatt plant, or to 600 megawatts. And the second advantage is the process is stoppable. It's the adaptation to renewable generation intermittence is very good, because you don't need to storage hydrogen in order to guarantee the continuous process. To solve to get this kind of plants is necessary to get high efficiency catalyst like is actually demonstrated in Japan in the one plant that produce only 24 kilograms per day. That is the best demonstration that everybody can produce their own fuel from renewable source, in this case with solar plants. And I'm sorry for this all the presentation.
Thank you, Fabian. Yunju, please present.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, thank you, Fabian. It was interesting presentation. And I think you may interest in next presentation as well. So let me introduce Kukhyun Kyung from Plaza. The company have a technology that extracts syngas from various waste to produce methanol that can be used as a multiple fuel, including ships. So
Please, Fabian, stop.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Kukhyun, would you start your presentation?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, I'd like to introduce about the green methanol. We are having a technology to make a clean syngas from the waste, and then we can make a hydrogen. But right now, the problem of the hydrogen is very difficult for the storage and transportation. Therefore, we want to make the clean hydrogen in the final product. Plaza means from plastic to hydrogen. We make green hydrogen from waste. We established 219, and our office is in Seoul. Right now, the problem in that we have to transit to green energy to keep both tackling climate change and creating sustainable economies. Therefore, we have to change the energy from the carbon to the hydrogen. But right now, the hydrogen from the water electrolysis need high energy consumption. Therefore, there is no price competitiveness. This is a problem. Therefore, we are focusing on the biomass gasification. Biomass gasification, the hydrogen from the biomass gasification is very simple, reliable, and very low cost. But the problem with the gasification is that the high tar yield from the waste gasification. Waste gasification leads to higher tar content. The generation tar in waste gasification is very highly undesirable because the condensation and agglomeration of tar cause a clogging the downstream heat exchanger, and finally stop the operation of the plant. Plaza has improved the gasification technology that lowers the tar concentration and has paved the way for the green hydrogen production with various mixed waste. As you can see that the picture, the waste is going inside of gasification, but if the feedstock is the waste, the problem is that evaporation. For example, if the plastic waste is going into the gasification reactor, the temperature of the gasification reactor is more than 800 Celsius degree. Therefore, as the stress come into the gasifier, that plastic will be evaporate. Therefore, it means that high molecular gas phase, the plastic will be changed to the tar. Therefore, we developed the in situ tar reforming, the upper side of gasifier. Therefore, we can 900 900 reforming of the tar to the hydrogen and carbon monoxide. Therefore, right now I'm not in Korea. Right now I'm in the West Virginia to participate the hydrogen hub project. Therefore, this is our business model for the West Virginia state. And then we propose the marine fuel from the plastic, also the forest wood waste. And then as I talked to that, hydrogen is not easy for the storage and transportation. But green methanol is environmentally friendly and very easy for storage and transportation. Also that green methanol is a marine fuel and also raw material in production of a lot of chemicals as well as biodiesel. In North Korea, need around 31 million tons of green methanol to replace the marine diesel fuel. Also, Moscow right now, they are changing the marine fuel to the green methanol. Right now, we have proposed that the feedstock is of forest wood waste and then plastic waste. This is a mixed waste. And then with the gasification that we will get some waste heat. Therefore, we propose the smart farm from the waste heat. And then and we will make a methanol with the hydrogen and carbon monoxide and carbon dioxide. And then finally, green methanol will be used as a marine fuel. Right now, we propose that some natural technology for carbon dioxide capture and storage. As you can see that right now, today we have a lunch and dinner. Actually, this is from the carbon capture from the air. And then right now we are living in this ecological carbon capture system. And the problem is right now that all the biomass is right now the carbon is captured from the air, but we do not manage this biomass. Therefore, almost biomass is decomposed, and finally carbon is going back to the air, while we are burning the biomass, and then this carbon is back to the air. Therefore, this is we are talking the sustainable, but it is not well management for the carbon dioxide. Therefore, we are focusing on this biogenic, the carbon. Therefore, we want to use this biomass as a raw material for the green methanol, and then this biomass will be gasified, and then the gasification syngas will be the material for the green methanol. Therefore, we are focusing on the biogenic carbon utilization. Right now that a lot of companies are trying to capture the carbon dioxide from the air. In Canada, also in UK, also other countries, they are doing that. But to capture the carbon dioxide, we need energy. But you can see for example, in natural system. In biomass, they are capture the carbon dioxide by photosynthesis without energy. There is no energy needed. Therefore, we are focusing on that. And also that if you make this part that in Earth there are huge amount of biomass, and then right now in the air the carbon dioxide concentration about 400 ppm. Because this is the photosynthesis ecological system, therefore CO2 concentration is maintained. We are talking the sustainable, but therefore right now I'm focusing to this biological CO2 capture system, and then we wanna make a renewable energy very efficiently. Yeah. Also that our customer will be the green methanol, the international logistic companies that right now in the world, the methanol production is about 100 million tons per year. But as I know that 1.5 million tons per year additional green methanol is needed to replace for the marine fuel. Also that the syngas, carbon monoxide, and hydrogen is raw material for the green aviation oil. Also that right now, the luxury fashion companies, they're looking for the non-CO2 polyester, but we can make a non-CO2 polyester from the methanol. Also the plastic using companies that they are looking for the non-CO2, it means the green plastic. Therefore, we are also that this green methanol is a raw material for the plastic. Therefore, green methanol is a really the necessary material to change our lives, to change the CO2 problems, and then to keep the neutral society. I'd like to introduce one project in Korea that we are cooperating with Seoul City to produce green hydrogen with a switch. Seoul City is a big city, the population about 10 million, and then wastewater is approximately 4.2 million cubic meter per day. Because this one, the huge amount of sewage sludge, it means that 650,000 tons per year. But the sewage sludge already Seoul City take the biogas from the sewage sludge. Therefore, after biogas, therefore inorganic content is increased more than 30%. Therefore, we are focusing to that organic content will be changed to green hydrogen, and then inorganic is some kinds of ash. Therefore, we propose to this ash to find a product is a side work block. Okay, thank you very much for giving the time for the presentation.
Thank you so much. And now we are going to speak with Bernardino Counago from Blue Renewables that is a lot into renewables energy, mainly marine. And please tell us what you do.
Okay. Good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining these sessions today. Well, my name is Bernardino Counago. I'm a naval architect and CEO of Renewables. So Renewables is an engineering consultancy working on the blue economy. So we basically provide services, specialized engineering services, and we develop our own technologies for the blue economy. Well, to be honest, it's mainly offshore wind, floating offshore wind, bottom fixed, offshore floating solar, and several hybridations to produce hydrogen on the sea. So the presentation today is focused on mainly on technologies, not in our services, of course. And I will introduce later on the technologies, but just a brief introduction here is all the BOS technologies are renewables offshore solutions. So we got 3 floating wind technologies: WindBOS, which is a spar, CityBOS, which is a TLP, and SBOS, which is a semi-submersible, and the PBBOS, which is an offshore floating solar device. The GBOS is as well a bottom fixed platform. It's a gravity base. And finally, we also develop technologies doing hybridation and integration of green energy production on the seas. We are based mainly in Madrid and Tenerife. The company was created in 2019 in Tenerife, so we are only 3 years old. But we also have staff in Marseille and Rotterdam, Marseille in France and Rotterdam in the Netherlands. Our team today is composed by 21 employees, several external collaborators, and our main advantage, core is our experience in offshore engineering. So we accumulate more than 140 years experience in offshore engineering. So looking at our technologies, most of them are under process of patent, being patent. and we get several agreements with several companies to further develop. Our strategy is not to become a technology provider itself. Our strategy is to develop the technology until a certain level, and after that, to license that technology to bigger companies that can bring these massive structures to the reality. So on the left, you have the Wimbos, which is a Spark type solution. As you can see, it's a very deep draft floater, made partially in steel, made partially in concrete. The main advantage of this technology is the innovative installation procedure. I'm not getting into the details because we don't have time, but this solution at the end of the day is working like a spar during operation, but working as a semi-sub or a barge during transportation. So the two bodies can be unfolded and separately and while we're doing the installation. So as I said, we asked for the patent this year, but we started the project funded by CDTI, by the way, 2 years ago as part of Neotech program. And today we are asking for further funding to CDTI and KTEP as part of a consortium between Korea and Spain collaborative collaboration program between the two countries. And we are waiting for the solution. So let's see what happens over the next 2 months, I think. The other two technologies here, the SBOS and CTBOS, this is the semi-submersible, quite a standard product, to be honest, with some innovations, made of concrete, all of them, both of them. Okay, this is a TLP. This is a more innovative concept. So these two concepts today, well, we asked for the patent, I think last year, and it's in progress. And we get a handover agreement with Acciona. So basically, we sold the technology to Acciona. Acciona is an international construction company headquartered in Spain, but acting globally. So they like these solutions because we use concrete. Concrete is cheap material, easy to scale up, and suitable for floating wind turbines. So these two technologies are already part of Acciona's pipeline. We keep collaborating with them, of course. And next year, within the next 2 years, this one, the CTBOS, is going to be deployed at sea, supporting 11 megawatt wind turbine. So this is a project. We already get the funding from the Horizon Europe program, 60 million euro funding. But well, the project is more expensive, of course, and Acciona is going to complement the budget, to complete the budget. The CTBOS was already funded by CDTI as part of the Eurostars program. So as you can see, the support of CDTI here is really important. The GBOS is already patented concept, GBS. Let's keep it apart for the moment because it's not so innovative. It's more a commercial product rather than innovative product. And the PBBOS, this is really innovative in the market because only a few companies in the world are looking at floating offshore solar devices. So this is a lattice catamaran made of steel. The patent was already asked 1 or 2 years ago. So we already received the first comments from the evaluators, and everything seems that is going well. And we are now preparing a handover agreement with an energy developer here in Spain, an energy developer which is who is focused in green hydrogen production. So that's why they like the floating solar device to make hybridations with their hydrogen production strategy. So those are our main technologies, and now you can see all of them being done tested in several done testing facilities all over the Europe. Up left, you can see the Wimbos operating in a 50-year storm, in the typical North Sea storm. HS 10 meters, peak period 14 seconds, the tests were performed in France, in Oceanide facilities. Up right, you can see here the SBOS, which is the semi-submersible technology being tested in Spain in third-party facilities, the same wave conditions. And bottom left, you can see the TLP, the one we are going to build a real-scale demonstrator within the next 2 years, being tested in Cantabria facilities in Spain. And finally, you can see here 4 of our floating solar devices being tested together in Plymouth in the UK. The storm here is in the Canary Island. As you can see, it's not as hard or as harsh as the other conditions. Canary Island is more benign conditions. So those technologies are TRL6, more or less, most of them are in progress to reach TRL6. And well, the strategy, as you can see, is, as I said, is just involve big companies with the capability to bring them to the reality, to the real goal in industrial scale. So, because this is a session between Korea and Spain, well, we asked for, I wanted to let you know about this project. As part of CASE program, we are waiting resolution. It's not awarded yet. Let's see if finger crossed, and let's see if we are lucky. The program is supported by CDTI and KTEP, the Korean Institute of Energy Evaluation and Planning. So the Korean consortium is composed by Institute of Advanced Engineering, CASE, the Korea Advanced Institute of Science and Technology, KOREMI, which is Korea Marine Equipment Research Institute, and then we got the industrial partners, Hyundai Heavy Industries. I think most of the people will know this company. Samcam, which is a very big industrial manufacturing company, and Spec Engineering. So this is the Korean consortium, and the Spanish part is renewables, the National Renewable Research Center, CENER, CEPAR, the testing house, and we got as an external observer the big electric utility Iberdrola, headquartered in Spain as well. So what is the objective of this project? It's very simple. It's just designing the biggest floating wind turbine of the world. This is the main objective, to be honest. It will be a 25 megawatt wind turbine. Bear in mind that today the state of the art is close to 15 megawatt wind turbine. So the technological jump is massive, and there are many challenges we have to address if we are aware, of course. So why are we doing all this effort? So I'm the co-founder of this company, and for us, the main reason why we are doing this is because of the sustainability of our energy system. We truly believe in the energy transition. We are aware and we are concerned about the global warming, and we need reduction, CO2 emissions reduction to meet the need set of policies. And we really believe that the future of humankind and all species in the world is in danger. So for us, this is the main reason. But we know that sometimes this is not enough. And some of you, eventually you have to convince your boards, your investors, and your shareholders. And that's why there is a strong reason that floating wind and floating solar make sense, because there is a market already, mainly floating wind. So these are the projections for fully commissioned, under development plan, or possible projects, floating wind projects in the world. You have here the reference, Quest Floating Wind company. So when we sum up all the potential, all these projects in the horizon 2030, we sum up 82 gigawatts of capacity, which is pretty much the same as 82 medium-sized nuclear power plants. So this means 6,435 floating units. If we assume 15 megawatt average wind turbines, then we will end up in 5,490 units, which is a lot. To be honest, this is going to stress the industrial manufacturing in every single country. And overall businesses means 270 billion euros, which is, I think, is a strong reason of justifying the floating wind. And if we only look at substructures business, which is at the end of the day our business, floaters and mooring, the overall business is 123 billion euros in the 2030 horizon. Sorry, if we look at 2015, then the figures become awesome. Looking at South Korea and Spain, South Korea has a very powerful pipeline, 16 gigawatts, 16.5, which is a lot, probably will keep growing. Spain recently announced our projections and our expectations for floating wind in this horizon as well, so 3.6 gigawatts, which is also a decent or quite good figure. And many other countries are keep rising their pipeline. So I think this is the main reason when we look at floating wind in the world, and why we should keep doing our best to bring this to the reality and bring this to the real scale, utility scale level. And that's it. That's my presentation for today.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Bernardino. Okay, thank you for the presentation. Actually, we had 4 promising startups presentation from Spain and Korea. So now we are going to a panel discussion. Then I think even across very different industries, the way companies innovate often has striking similarity. So sustainability factors are balanced with performance, cost, technology, and desirability. Traditionally, innovation balance priorities like performance, cost, technology, and attractiveness to produce a better solution for customers and business. Sustainable innovation also does this, but as social and environmental factors too. Sustainable innovation serves sustainable development goal, helping create shared value along with delivering commercial value creation. So now we are going to panel discussion. So Belen, would you introduce the panels from Europe?
Yes, we have Jordi Espluga, who is the representative of CDTI, the Spanish Center for the Development of Industrial Technology in South Korea, Singapore, and Taiwan. We also have Renata Almeida Peloso from Blue Invest, and she leads the business development axis for the world's largest European export acceleration program, where her main areas of expertise include market screening, identification of relevant companies for a given target sector or market, consolidation of relevant smart data evaluation, and coaching of companies in their internationalization strategy. So please present Yoonju, the part of the Korean panel.
Okay, we have Dr. Jun-woo Kim here from the Korean Institute of Energy Research, so-called KIEL. Dr. Kim does technological innovation and strategy, technology transfer and commercialization, and entrepreneurship at the Department of Technology Commercialization, which is under the Research Strategy headquarters at KIEL. We also have Dr. Jae-ho Ryu from the Korean Environmental Industry and Technology Institute, so-called KT. Dr. Ryu handles KT's green energy startup support projects, particularly mentoring for green energy startups, preparing support policies, supporting investment attraction, and external cooperation as well. So welcome to you all. This panel is focused on two things. First, we want to know how you support sustainable innovation. And then we also want to understand how to connect innovation, investment, and impact by supporting technologies that address environmental, social, and climate change challenges.
We are going to let the speakers themselves present their companies and their institutions. So please, Jordi, tell us what the CDTI does. You're muted, Jordi.
You're right. Well, thank you for inviting me to this event. Pleased to share my thoughts and what CDTI is doing. CDTI is a public funding agency under the Spanish Ministry of Science and Innovation. And we have how long is the presentation time? It's short.
5 minutes because then we will make questions. All right. Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know that. So what we basically do in Spain is, since we are under the Ministry of Science and Innovation, our competences, our scope of work is within science and technology research. We fund research carried out mostly by the industry. It can be done in several ways. So for that we have defined along several funding instruments to support all the value chain when it comes to research and innovation, from TRLs, very low TRLs. I don't know if you are familiar with this terminology, TRLs 2, 3, which are pretty much science-based research, all the way down to innovation, close to market. And we do that at different levels. One is a national level, supporting programs, through programs that Spanish business entities and they carry out the new products, new processes, new services to be commercialized in the market. And then also we work at international level with different institutions, framework program of the European Union, Eureka, which is an initiative, by the way, which Korea is also a member, Iberoeca with Latin America at bilateral level between Spain and different countries. And when it comes to Korea, myself, I'm the delegate here in my office is in Korea. I'm now in Korea. And we have several programs, cooperative programs with Korean, especially with MOTIE. One of them is Ministry of Science as well, for ICT technologies, in which we try to foster cooperation in all existing technologies except military. All civil applications are covered within the programs that we have in place, and that's pretty much in a shell what we do from CTI and myself here in Korea. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Jordi. Renata, please tell us what you're doing with Blue Invest, and if you can talk about other programs that you know that I know you're working on, it would be good.
Yes, absolutely. So hello everyone, and thanks again for BOLD and COMBIRO for inviting Blue Invest here today. I am a manager here for PricewaterhouseCoopers, one of the contractors of this EU-funded initiative. Alongside Blue Invest, we've worked in many other business acceleration and business export programs, including the Green Gateway to Korea. So for the past 5 years, we were actively supporting the green growth in the Korean market. And I think it was a great experience to see how different technologies from EU and from Korea can leverage on each other to create new solutions and to foster the growth of those solutions in both markets. Blue Invest specifically is a program dedicated to the blue economy, so boosting investment readiness. Here, we're not only talking about market expansion, but really about accelerating new technologies. So I take up on Jordi when he mentioned the technology readiness levels, the TRLs. Here, we are looking for companies that are 5 upwards. So all the companies that already developed a prototype or test the product in the market and are now willing to take that next steps. So we work as an accelerator / incubator. Belen, we had a couple of slides, but I know we're short in time. We only have 5 minutes. Should I still go ahead and present them, or
if you are fast, but
yeah.
you know.
Okay. So I will invite you very quickly to look up at the quick presentation of what Blue Invest is. So we are a program that has been running for over 4 years now, and our aim is to facilitate access to finance and support investment readiness in the whole Blue Invest community. So we're looking at the whole ecosystem, not only at startups and SMEs, but we want to make sure we also onboard large corporates that can be significant partners or have potential partners. We're looking at investors. We're looking at business accelerators. We're looking at business organizations. So everyone that can leverage and power this ecosystem. We do that through a number of features. So as I mentioned, we are backed by the European Commission. So both we have CINEA and DG Mari extremely engaged in this project, and our financial arm, so our financial muscle, is the EIF with the InvestEU. So we have a 500 million fund that will be dedicated exclusively to the blue economy and to innovation in this area in the coming years. So when we're talking about innovation, I think this is what we have to understand is core. One cannot make it alone. So once an entrepreneur comes to market and wants to bring their idea and scale it up, it takes the whole society, takes a whole community to make it happen. And this is what Blue Invest works and thrives at doing. So I will not take a lot more time, but if you guys want to discover what the Blue Invest community is, you can just scan here with your cell phones our QR code, and it will allow you to not only start engaging and interacting with members from all across the globe that are interested in a sustainable economy, but also to engage with our different features that goes from capacity building, incubation and acceleration of startups, support for investors trying to enter the space, the ESG space, and not really knowing how, all the events that we'll be organizing, matchmaking, and so on and so forth. So I will stop here, but I think it gives you a bit of a first understanding, and we'll continue the discussions in the Q&As.
Thank you.
Thank you, Renata. Okay, then we are going to Katie first. Okay, Dr. Liu, would you introduce your institution first? Jae-ho.
Okay, hello everyone. My name is Jae-ho Liu, a researcher working at KT. You see my page. KT is Korea Environmental Industry and Technology Institute. Is a government agency of the Ministry of Environment. We are doing environmental R&D support, corporate commercialization support, and eco-friendly lifestyle promotion too. And nowadays, maybe after 2020, the Green New Deal policy makes us support eco startups a lot. Maybe 550 projects I supported during nowadays 3 years. So I want to tell about some examples, case too. Anyway, nice to meet you.
Okay, then Junoo,
Okay.
Dr. Junoo,
Yes.
would you please?
Can you hear me, guys? Can you hear me?
Yes, we
Yes.
can hear you.
Okay. Hello, everybody. This is Dr. Junoo Kim from Kia. As CEO E has mentioned earlier, I'm from the Institute of Korea Agency for the Research Institute for the Energy Technology. So the name is KIA. That stands for Korea Institute of Energy Research. So unlike other agencies here, our institute is kind of a governmental funded national laboratory. So the main job here is to make energy technologies. So if I talk about the organization here very briefly, it was established in 1977. So it has been 45 years since then. And the total employees, I mean, the researchers here is about 1,000, and the budget that the yearly budget is about 180 million US dollars. So, so as I said, we are making so many energy technologies here. So we are focusing on some new technologies like renewable energy or marine energy and energy efficiency technologies and material sciences, and especially for the technologies for the climate change. So those are some divisions for the research centers, and I'm from another division, which is called the Technology Commercialization Division. So my main job here is was to transfer the technologies which was developed here. But at the moment, the government and the environment, I mean, the market, they need not the technology transfer. They are focusing on the commercialization, which means they need startups from the national laboratory. So we are focusing on the making energy startups from this institute at the moment. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We're also going to start the questions for the panelists. And we've got a question for Jordi Espluga. How can a company or entrepreneur, either Spanish or Korean, work with the CDTI?
Well, there are several ways where a company can work with us. As I mentioned before, we are a funding agency, and we have a budget committed to support research into the Spanish industry of around 1,000 million euro per year, not including even the framework program of the European Union, which would make an additional 400 or 500 million euro. So we have established ad hoc programs to support throughout the value chain all types of research, at least what we think that we're coming with all type of research that can be carried out from the industry, and we are ready to support them. So we have programs at national level, some strategic programs like CIEN, it's called CIEN, which are of larger scale, between 10, 20 million euro per project, to support research only. We're not talking about industry investments or technology transfer, we're talking about research activities to be carried out by the industry. We have other programs that support the cooperation with research institutes. It's called Cerbera, which is totally dedicated. Well, we try to encourage the industry to cooperate more with research institutes and technology facilities to encourage, to raise the quality level of technology of those projects and then more technology transfer between them. And then we have, the classical support funding schemes for companies that they do research in different ways. We hear about renewables, advanced thermal devices, which they had support from CTI. These are examples of a company coming to CTI and saying, okay, I need that money to develop this and that. So we assess the project, and if everything is it's positively assessed, then we provide funding in different schemas, funding schemas that we have ready. And then international framework, as I said before, we work on Horizon Europe, which is more of a top-down and only for Europe. Unfortunately, doesn't cover Korea yet. But Eureka, which is another modality, we call it bottom-up. So it's more of we led the initiative to the companies, to the businessmen who know the market better and they know what they want to do research on. And it's been that one. It's very successful. And here we can engage Korea in that way, and we can engage not only Korea but so many different countries. And moving in from TRL, as I said, 3 to 6, TRL 7 is too close to market, so we don't finance any more upper TRLs from 6. And the funding intensity that we provide here, it's based on the technology risk. So technology TRLs 3 are more eligible for funding than TRL 6. So that's pretty much the scheme. And then also we have an additional funding schema for startups, because startups, we understand that they are not yet yet consolidated. So they need to proceed through a totally different assessment. And for that, we have 2 different instruments, funding instruments. One is Neotech, which are basically grants up to 225,000 euro. And it's based on a business plan, and the business plan should lay on technology. So the company presenting a Neotech, they have to have a technology push, and the business plan supporting that technology push. And then we have Invierte. Invierte is it's an equity-based funding schema, and it's a co-investment instrument, meaning that we leverage for each euro that we invest, we need a private equity, private VC or family office putting an additional euro. So the company, the recipient, so the startup recipient of that funding is through CDTI and also through the private investor, but we let the private investor to lead absolutely everything. So we don't hold any voting positions in the company. So everything is managed by the private industry, but with our funding support. So we try to leverage here public funding with private funding to encourage a startup, the ecosystem of startups in Spain. And also, well, that's a different modality. The point is that all these instruments are pretty much based on research carried out in Spain. So it's not, that would not be eligible for a Korean company, but that the Korean company that should work in international framework programs that I mentioned before, like Eureka. Eureka is a good example. And also there was one company mentioned about Blue Novels, about the CRESIP. CRESIP was another program that we, or the I don't remember, it was, well, in energy related program, and they applied, and it's currently in the evaluation process. So that would be a way that we could suffice or provide funding to not only Spanish company, but also foreign companies in our schema. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Jordi. So let me ask to Diego. So, okay, what policies have been the Korean public sector to support green energy startups, and what are the further policies in the future?
Okay. The South Korea startup support system is modeled after private startup support, such as Silicon Valley. It has been operating in earnest since 2009. And as of this year, more than $3 billion has been implemented. Because it is government-centered, it is regulatory oriented. In addition, there are limitations that requires short-term results, such as sales, employment, investment. And there are some programs such as TIPS or commercialization support program and R&D support program. wait a minute. You can check this page too. This is a TIPS program. TIPS program is named Accelerator Investment Driven Tech Incubator Program for Startup. It is designed to identify and nurture the most promising startups with innovative ideas and groundbreaking technologies. In order to support them in entering the global marketplace, it appoints and designates successful venture founders for now angel investors and leaders of technological enterprises as their incubators and accelerators. And my area, I'm working the Ministry of Environment Agency, supported eco startups through the 2020 Green New Deal policy. Nowadays, we spend almost $15 million annually and supporting about 450 projects for 3 years. Usually, our budget spent on commercialization, such as labor cost or material cost or prototype production cost and marketing cost. In the beginning, there were many environmental issues subject, but recently the proportion of energy and green field is increasing. I realized that the professionalism and competence of coaches or mentors are important, I think. So our mission or goal is that consulting or mentoring service competition is important, I think. And usually entrepreneurs have a high level of understanding of their ideas or technologies, but they usually have little experience in management. So I think we need to support them too.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Then,
thank you so much. The next question is for Renata. Is the Blue Invest platform open for all players globally? And what are the upcoming events and activities that companies can engage with?
I think this is a key question and super important, especially in this panel where we have people joining globally and many from Korea. Yes, the Blue Invest community is open for all players globally. The idea is really to create this equity ecosystem and this enabling ecosystem. So please take the opportunity. I've shared the link as well in the chat to discover a little bit our platform. I think it's also an opportunity for you to further expand your horizons. We do today have a very good concentration of Europeans in the platform and looking forward to expanding and welcoming everyone that is here today. As per the upcoming events, we have 4 key events that are coming up. So the first one will be the Blue Theme on the 19th of October. It will take place in Barcelona physically, but also virtually. I'll be sharing as well some more information in the link. And we have an upcoming event on the Baltic Sea, so Blue Invest for the Baltic on the 13th of October, and this will be taking place in Germany, but also online. So this one as well includes the links here in the chat. I understand that when we first say Blue Economy, it feels very maritime related, but I think that there's a strong link with all the audience here today. We are talking about renewable energies very strongly in those events. We'll be talking about new food and feed, new options of IT for sustainability. So I think there's definitely a very important link between what is green, the overall green context, and what is blue, which is just a small part within this this clean tech revolution that we're taking part of. So don't hesitate, ping me if you have any more questions as well.
Okay, thank you, Renata. And, okay, let me ask to Junu. So, yeah. What are the government's presentative energy policies and necessary technical strategies for sustainable green growth?
Yes, well, I guess I'm from the national laboratory, so I need to talk about the technologies. So I believe that there are two representative energy policies of the Korean government, which one for the public side and the other one for the private side. The public side, the important Korean government policy is carbon neutrality. So everyone here, the specialists, they all know about the carbon neutrality. So I don't want to explain that here. But the Korean government is very focusing on this policy. So they launched the Carbon Neutrality Committee and aim to reduce greenhouse gas emission by 40% compared to 2018 by 2030. And the final goal is to achieve net zero by 2050. So those goals are very urgent, and so I can say that the government policy is driving the market at the moment. The other policies from the viewpoint of the private side, which is called RE100. It is an international business-to-business agreement project to replace 100% of the electricity used by farms with renewable energies. So the farms, they have to use only electricity produced by the renewable energy, and they can trade renewable energy certificates by their own goal. So to cope with these two representative Korean government policy, the Korean government, they are focusing on the renewable energy technologies. So I guess the renewable energy technologies is, every country has its own limitation to renewable energy technologies, because the economical status or the geographical status is very different from country to country. But for the Korean government, they are focusing on the renewable energy like solar and wind power. Those are the first one. And the second one is, as you see, is hydrogen. The hydrogen technology is classified by technologies, but the one and only, among those three technologies, electrolysis technology is the only one that can make the carbon neutrality. So, but the hydrogen technology is very early stage at the moment. They need very big amount of budget or time to implement the technologies. And the Korean government is also focusing on the technology, the nuclear technology. The recent trend of the new nuclear technology is small modular reactors, which is called SMR. So the government is actively funding that technology. That's it.
Thank you so much. Jordi, how is the CTTI, your initiative fostering the growth of the green tech ecosystem? And can investors discover new innovations and opportunities through CTTI?
Well, yes, definitely. Think about that. Consider that in CTI we are. How many projects? Like 1,600 projects which are evaluated every year positively, and that means a contribution of 1 billion euro to the industry to carry out R&D. So that means we are offering a big opportunity to any researcher, any company that pursues the new products, improvement of technologies, existing technologies, and they want to improve the pre-position themselves in the market, whatever it is in the scope of science and technology, ready to finance that. And so coming to green technologies, the first, I was checking before where we are investing the most, and the first group of technologies that we're investing in technology of production, so the technologies which are related to industry. Then it comes to information and communication technologies, which is very broad. And some of these technologies, they apply to several sectors, including energy and green growth as well. Then it comes to bio and food industries. And then there is the energy-related technologies, which accounts for around more than 100 projects every year that are directly financed by CTI. And on top of that, we have several undertakings which are directed towards the green transition, being one of the two pillars, right? Green transition and digitalization. So these are the two main pillars of growth push at least in Europe. And also, by the way, which was drafted when President Moon Jae-in was in Spain, and they signed a joint statement. And when it came to science and technology, these were the two main pillars where the declaration said that the two countries should foster cooperation in digitalization and green transition. So this is telling you how important it is for the public administration these two group of industries and technologies. So based on that, we have specific programs that, like the missions, which target one of these. There are 6 pillars. One of the pillars is in green technologies, and pretty much Korea is doing the same through the carbon net zero and a new Green Deal 2050, which was already explained before, focusing on renewable energies. I think we have an ample margin for cooperation between Spain and Korea in renewables, both in wind, especially in wind offshore, also in distribution of energy, smart grids, storage. Here comes hydrogen as well, and demand side to make the market work efficiently. And then, there are phasing out technologies like carbon, oil, reducing these two. And hydrogen. Many people came around me and saying, "How about hydrogen?" And you try to tailor next call in hydrogen because it's in high demand. We'll see because there are now talks with the Ministry of Industry and Energy here how we can improve cooperation in green tech. And where we don't have any expectations, at least so far, is in nuclear reactors, small nuclear reactors. I think it has potential, but in Spain we have not yet decided to support this as for the moment, to support these technologies. And also, when it comes to VCs and startups, yes, but that's pretty much decentralized. So every country, when it comes to VCs, every country follows their own strategies to support startups which are very local. It's a global issue, but it's from my experience, very locally funded. So we, as I said, through those Neotech and Invierte, we only fund specific research of startups in Spain, and Korea is pretty much doing the same. There are big projects to support the startups in these two fields in Korea, but they are locally supported. And if a Spanish company wants to be established and get benefit from these funds, they have to come to Seoul, and vice versa. One Korean company have to go to Madrid in order to get this funding ready for them. And another thing that's important through CDTI and how we can stimulate growth through CDTI is that we know to some extent the market, who is doing what in Spain, and so in that sense, if a Korean company they have an idea and they think of Europe, I think one of the considerations that they could have is to drop us a mail or a call and tell us the proposal, what they want to do, and then we will work on that to make sure that the project is well funded and well prepared, so stimulate cooperation. Eventually, think about that. CDTI, what our job is to give money away to the industry for them to do research. And when I say give it away, is in the form of grants and soft loans and combination of these two. And when it comes to startups, we don't seek any profit out of that. So we leverage money from the private. We invest in these ecosystems, startup ecosystems, but we don't expect any profit. So we expect that the VC system, since Spain is in Europe in general, is not so well consolidated. It's a way to foster, from the VC's point of view, more money flowing into technology-based companies. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Jordi. Then actually, yeah, we have not enough time to discuss, but let us go quick. So let me ask Jeho again. What kind of cooperation scheme can be suggested if KT and other supporting organizations want to help those startups trying to enter overseas market, such as Europe?
Okay. Usually, I think in the South Korea startup support organizations, usually several entities each build networks with overseas organizations. Usually, during the Corona situation, and that networking has also weakened a lot, and a global network is also important in the green energy sector too, I think, and it is important to attract investment and develop markets through this. So I think cooperation with BOLD will also be an important opportunity for us. And important part of cooperation is to create a communication channel first, and to exchange opinions on companies willing to cooperate on a regular basis, and we'll be able to actively communicate online and plan exchange events on a regular basis, maybe more during one time or 2 times a year. Maybe you can make some event. And nowadays, I think it is also effective to come up with a way to indirectly experience products or service using metaverse technology. So we can show our product or service by metaverse, AR, or the other technology basis. We can experience about our companies, some products, the other things too.
Thank you, Jeho. That was very interesting. It would be lovely to have events. Renata, how can a company or an entrepreneur with a sustainable solution benefit from your acceleration program?
So for companies and startups, projects, or any stage from technology readiness level 5 to 9, our main feature is the technical assistance. So this is an accelerator/incubator structure that will be welcoming 100 new technologies in the next 2 years. It's a full support advisory services. So companies that are interested in having this a revision on their business plan, a support to identify funding structures and funding sources, to negotiate with investors, to revise their financial models, their unique value proposition, support for feasibility studies. So basically, what we'll do is at the start of the program, we'll do a needs assessment, understand what the company requires, and allocate a dedicated senior expert that will follow the company through this journey of acceleration and just close those gaps that they need, either to become investment ready or to reach the market. So I think this is our key feature for companies that are trying to make it and SMEs that are trying to expand. On top of that, through our community, we're constantly promoting and supporting companies through matchmaking, trying to find new investors, new clients, new business opportunities, new strategies to go abroad, to find partners in other markets. So the events will support through that as well. And knowledge, I think this is the key. We will enable an ecosystem, but also provide increasing knowledge on the market that they play, but also on complementary and skills that they might want to acquire.
Great, thank you. Junu, what is an efficient green technology R&D investment strategy from the government's point of view?
Yes, earlier I talked about government policy, and now the next, I'd like to say about the next important thing, the government budget. So the budget can be implemented like R&D efficiency. So to cope with all the government goals, the efficient R&D investment measures are emerging as a major issues at the moment. So I'd like to talk about the recent research, which analyzed the relative efficiencies of R&D project in greenhouse technology in Korea. So the paper pulled out three interesting and important results. The first one is the efficiency of new and renewable energy R&D project is very low overall, and you guys know that. So it is about because it is the mainly due to the unexpected investment scale. Here, I believe the term unexpected is very important for the commercialization. It's very big barrier for the commercialization. The second result is the mid and long-term investment of wind and solar, wind power and bio R&D should continue, because wind power and bio R&D project showed increasing return from the government investment. And the last one is the solar R&D project is the highest, has the highest efficiency. This kind of research result is very academical, and you guys cannot feel the result, the implication directly. But I'd like to say that we can pull out some implication from the kind of academic research. So the amount of renewable energy R&D investment should be reorganized by the efficiency by the government. And next one is R&D efficiency analysis should be preceded in setting R&D budget investment. So the bottom line I'd like to say is about the technology, the market for the energy technology is not ready at the moment. It's not active. So we, the specialists, or government agency employees, or the researchers, or the startups, the firms, they all need to monitor and consider carefully how the market is moving. That's kind of our homework, I guess. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We are running out of time, so we had more questions. We won't be able to make them. I'm really sorry, but it's getting late in Korea. In Spain, we have in office hours, and I'm sure people have to work. So thank you so much for attending this webinar. I'm sorry we're not able to answer all the questions, but rest assured that we will email you guys with the answers and with the information from the speakers. We will upload the video to YouTube, and we will publish about it on our online magazine. BOLD has an online magazine. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone.
감사합니다 and gracias.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yes, bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you
Bye.
very
Thank
much.
you.
Bye.
Bye.
Muchas gracias.
감사합니다.